inclusion for me is being able to feel safe, being able to bring my whole self at work, not having to hide out of fear that I might miss out on opportunities or that might be looked down by colleagues. For me, it's just being able to be the real me at work without any fear.
It would mean not only listening to the majority voice or not only listening to the loudest voice, but including the minorities in that conversation as well, because we all have an equally valuable part to play.
Feeling like you're being treated in the same way. So it's a cultural thing to me rather than a numbers or a stats game. It's about the culture you set.
I've always had this idea of harmony, which I think is a wonderful word. And it captures all of that relationships, what's going on in your head as well as what's going in the heads of others as well, where there is safety, there's psychological safety and security as well.
I'm here to represent neurodiversity. Neurodiverse people would be people who have ADHD or dyslexia or dyspraxia, so a neurological condition, or autistic people. And everyone else I would refer to as neurotypical, so that's sort of 90 to 99% of people have a neurotypical brain. And then I spent 20 years trying to hide that and come across as normal as possible. And that takes out so much energy. Until this point, I'd never said at work that I'm autistic. So if any of my colleagues are watching, they might be like, okay, I have no idea about that. Because it was never my intention to explain that at work, because it's kind of my own thing that I manage on my own. However, if no one says anything, we stay silent. And so autism is kind of it's almost a silent minority, because there's so much fear of saying you are autistic, because there's so many sort of misconceptions and stereotypes with it. So if I can do a little bit of reducing those stereotypes and showing what autism can be, then that's what I'm here for.
I noticed around the age of 11 that was a bit different, but I couldn't verbalize it. It looked like my schoolmates could, because they could, bully me. I was hiding my identity for up to the age, I think, 24, especially from my parents. I come from a Greek background, so being gay was very not accepted, and I spent a lot of energy trying to hide that. And when I joined Amy, I was trying to hide it again because I was a bit apprehensive. I was like, would they accept me? Would they think of me differently? And it took me a few months to be more open about my sexuality. I think Amanda is really passionate about diversity and inclusion. I've seen her supporting comments on Yama. I've seen her listening to one of the LGBT allies podcasts and putting action straight away afterwards. So I think definitely Amy's moving to a more proactive and more engaged approach.
I come from a very diverse background, but it doesn't mean I've had an inclusive experience in my life. And I think I'm feeling much more comfortable now that we are in a much more inclusive environment in Amy. And that feels good and that feels right. We've got a lot to do to change the world that we live in, but we need to start with our place of work, where we spend most of our time. So I feel much more able, much more involved, and much more included now going forwards.
I would encourage people to communicate to someone who maybe they haven't spoken to for a while, because we've not been in the office since March, through Teams. Just contact them, see how they're doing.
Do you know what? We've had telephones for many years now. It's a very simple technology. You just phone someone and they answer.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting here listening to you, and I think, what a wonderful thing to do. Maybe one day next week, you phone someone in the business that you've never met before and just say, do you know what? I'm. This is me. How are you?
You never assume just because you see a face and it's a colour, or you see somebody and you think they're of a particular type or makeup. Never make that assumption. because we've all got that diversity somewhere.
Life is beautiful. Let's celebrate that diversity and that we have, and we are better for it and richer for it, and both as your work colleagues and your friends in the community and your families as well.
Just being able to go into work and feeling that I can be more of myself is very freeing.